Welcome back to part 3 of Grim Planet. If you want to see more, check out my 9 videos. Follow me at Maestro Drake on TikTok, whatever you have to do, for parts 1 and 2. So we last left off, I'll give you the brief summary of this. So Jerry was a thug from East LA who had a very terrible life, a very terrible childhood. He had very awful parents. He lived in East Los Angeles. He had a horrible, time in school, so he turned to gangs. And eventually his gang turned against him. He lost his girlfriend. He lost a lot of his innocence. So he went on one gang bust that turned bad and left him scarred and deformed. Left him without a face, without an identity. Realizing that he had no more to his name, Jerry killed his family, and then he killed his gangster family. He killed his boss in his street gang. So no longer a gangbanger, no longer a family person, Jerry turned away from East Los Angeles and he went to the forests in Yosemite National Park. He would go toward the mountains, toward the trees, toward the lakes, somewhere where he can hide and commit suicide. Jerry was only a kid. I mean, he had barely turned 18. But this is a kid that had a troubled life. We started the story out with the devastation, the pre-apocalypse, the end of the world. But we had to learn who this kid was, that he was human, before his face was damaged, before he lost everything. When he became the Reaper, he decided to kill everything in sight. And then he decided to take his own life. But before he could do that, before it was time to move on to better things, he had to look up and he had to know what was going on in the North Star. This was straight out of E.T. Sploosh, a spaceship hits the water, the lake, right near the forests. So this ship comes crashing down and it's like, what the fuck just happened? So something is in the water, some sort of robot, something. And it was bobbing in and out of the lake. So he grabs it. So at this point, so Jerry has put his suicide on hold. He's in the forest of Yosemite National Park, and he's going into the lake in the park to grab whatever this thing is that looks like a alien robot, and he drags it out. Now, down here is an alien language that I created. I'll go over the pronunciations at the end of this story, but for now, I'll tell you what this thing is saying. So it's an alien robot. And it says here to give pause. Now it's speaking kind of like a bird with its throat cut. It's speaking in chirps and growls and garbles and gargles and stuff that doesn't sound like English or Chinese or Spanish or any language on earth. So it's giving pause. It says to give pause. So it's sort of an emotional reaction. And then it's saying here, what are you? This is a very complex. So it's read from bottom left to top right. Giving pause and what are you? Jerry's perplexed. He doesn't know what the fuck this thing is. And this is exactly what Jerry sees. He sees this robot with green lights and green energy. This robotic metallic body that looks like an erector set gone wrong. This weird alien erector set that's speaking a very strange language from bottom left to top right, the way you would write a sentence in its language. It's not from Earth. It's not from anywhere known to man. And it came in a strange spaceship all the way to Yosemite Park from wherever planet it came from. So now we've gone from a gangster life to one of science fiction. This thing is beyond strange, beyond strange. I mean, it's a part insect. It's got these pencil ribs and 4 legs and wings. It's hard to know what it is or what it used to be. But it was once an intelligent being from another planet. So Jerry is thinking what most of us would be thinking, like, what the fuck is this thing? So it's speaking again. It is saying, what place are we at? What place are we at? This place is ugly. Let me see if I got that translation right. No, sorry, rather, this is a planet, large, the greatest landscape, a planet. So what planet are we at? So what planet is this? And this place is ugly. And then here he says that his name is Zetro Locke. Zetro Locke, Zetro. Now, where did I get this from? Zetroloc, if you spell it backwards, Zetroloc is Colortez backwards. You think of color, but you'll also think of Columbus and Cortez. And what are those two fuckers famous for, besides, sailing on the ocean? They were famous for wiping people out. Christopher Columbus killed a lot of people through disease, and Cortez just maimed and killed people. But they did it through deception first. They used science and technology during that time to fool a bunch of primitives, my ancestors, into thinking they could change the world. And then as soon as the tribes, the Aztecs, the Mayans bought into their bullshit, then they turned the tables on them. So Zetroloc is Columbus and Cortez, but backwards. So I just kind of, since the Z sounds a little alien to me. So this is Zetroloc's actual name. Its actual name kind of, in its alien language, kind of typed out. I just use clever characters. And here Jerry introduces himself. There's a little bit of, I am Jerry, you are an alien. So there's a little bit of this sort of exposition of trying to figure out what this creature is. So it starts out like E.T., E.T. Phone Home. They discover E.T. in the forest, right? A little bit of Blair Witch Project. But slowly the alien becomes real because we get to know it. So Jerry and Zetro hear somebody coming. So they're in an abandoned cabin. So you got a park ranger and a cabin resident trying to go back to their cabin, but they heard something. They think, is this a UFO or something strange? So they know they're aware that a spaceship crash landed in the forest, but they're not sure what it was. Jerry knows what it is, and Zetro's scared. This symbol here means something derogatory, to describe a derogatory people or species or whatever, a race. I never make it specific. But Jerry's got to go. We got to go through the window. And Zetro says, no, Jerry, let's try my way, my method, my plan. So Zetro has a backup idea to get away from the park ranger and the cabin resident. With his clever green eye, he shoots a laser. So zoom, he kind of shoots a laser. So I'm not sure if they're dead or fainted. I don't really say which is which. So Jerry and Zetro, the robot alien, they get away from the forest slowly but surely. This is a particular type of vehicle that Zetro sees. He thinks it's some sort of a weird drill vehicle from his home planet, but it's just an Earth pickup truck. Zetro says yes. He agrees with Jerry about letting him drive, because Zetro has these weird three-fingered robotic hands. How the hell is it going to drive? It's too clumsy. So Jerry and Zetro go back to the warehouse. And at this point, Zetro is trying to get to know the world around it. This is ugly light source or light fixture. And so Jerry's like, he's going to teach it English. So Zetro says what? And then he describes the light fixture. And he says, Chatum. Chatum. Chatum is light. So Zetro says, Chatum is light. And then he says light. So all this time right now, Jerry is teaching Zetro. Basically its language is Walu language to English. And slowly but surely they're learning and plotting together. So an example of its language is this symbol, or dia, which means hi or hello. This symbol here, which means fru, or beautiful, attractive. This is kluk, 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 or to produce stuff. This is suva, or to love. This was trika, or hate. So this is the language. It's all silly, right? But it's fru, dia, kluk, 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 suva, and trika. So these are different things that in its alien language it knows. So what is the purpose of this? Jerry and Zetro are plotting together. They're trying to figure each other out. From Zetro's point of view, he sees this person and thinks, do all humans look like this, or beings of Earth? Jerry's looking at this and thinking, do all aliens look like this? So you have two beings who have suffered tragic fates for themselves, an alien brain in a robot body, and a deformed person. They meet. There's a joke in there for that. And these two people meet, and something you can sense something bad's going to happen. So here it says, Jerry says that its brain was trapped inside a mechanical body a long time ago, the 1940s. Zetro was one of the few surviving of its kind. Yellow-skinned, one-eyed, three-fingered hands, three-toed legs, and stood like a primate, weird monkey thing 4 feet tall. So Zetro had a face of a different kind. This is its blanket. It's like a quilt in our culture, but in its alien culture, it basically tells what its life story in this blanket that it wears, like a shawl, like a quilt. And here's the alien's true face, this weird sort of starfish type of skin. And here is Zetro trying to kick the butt of a red alien species. So these are red alien species that you see down here that are born with deformities by genetics, and they have to use robot appendages and prosthetics. So this is the little brown spot you see around Zetro is sort of an alien disease it contracted. And there's the life story quilt on it. So there's a whole thing I created in a notebook about Zetrolok's alien species of Waula and the Walu language. So I created a whole world before it came to meet Jerry in the forests. And so I'll tell you the story. So he says, now he's speaking in broken English. He's not speaking in perfect English like in Star Trek or Star Wars or Battlestar Galactica. He's speaking in broken English like when someone from a third world country would try to speak English over here. Years many before you lived, before modern Earth is my story. I was low-level being of little wealth. I lived in caves. I saw this great city, big buildings, thousands of lights, moving vehicles. My people of the city wanted to elect new supervisor. I was candidate against the red Waula. That's the red alien I just showed you. To gain trust and sway opinion to me, got Bela fruit. Looks like tomatoes and pumpkin mixed. I give Bela to the people of Itua City. I paved roads with blue bow, what humans call rubber roads. Watch the babies of the city. All types of kindness. One day, the people vote. My opponent won, maybe because of popularity and royalty. History. Connections? Maybe because he had tall neck, which is sexy beauty to other color species. So in revenge, I murdered my fellow Wala with poison fruit. The Kala. Many people die. They retail. They revenge against me. Killing my body with airborne poison, dying, built tiny robots to kill the rest. The city was ghost, nothing living left. I built robot body to house me. Threw away biology body, escape on ship to another planet. Here I am. So, in better English, Zetro was supposed to be a governor of a new city, and when the creature did not win, he used a virus or fruit to kill people. So he was a sore loser who committed, genocide against his people. There are still Walu people left, but Jerry says, you still want to kill, and Zetro's like, yeah, are you going to kill me? But you're my friend, Reaper. You're my friend. But you want something. So Zetro says, I live difficult trial. My life is hard. I want respect. I want, my species died because of stupid, arrogant, no-educate demons called Waula. We kill each other over whatever. So, Jerry says there must be a king of planet from the Walu, and they must be trying to find you. So what Jerry's asking is that if Zetrolok committed a horrible crime on its home planet, and there's an authority figure or authority figures, they must be trying to find him. So he says, judge of 5 officers, judge of whole planet. They have royal starship, ship big power, strength but poor radar. Never find me since I on different world. No crime charge attached to me, right? Yeah, I guess the problem is even if you want to be king of fucking whatever, you look different than everyone else. You're not human. I would only be shadow power. Temper, parry, short time. I'd be shadow of you. You're the actor of power, what it's called on your planet. Figurehead. So, I know a guy, he can help us. So this is how it is. These two are going to seriously have a discussion over the next couple of months as to what they're going to do. They're going to talk about technology. They're going to talk about biology and fruit and airborne poisons, and all this time and evil medicines. And they're going to figure out what exactly needs to be done to fix the world, quote unquote. So now what Jerry is doing is far, far, far worse than simply joining a gang and running from the cops. This is far worse. So Jerry goes to the City of Commerce to Azteca Casino. He's now a bit older. He's 19 years old. So some months have passed. So they come up with a plan to wreck the planet. And they go to a guy, a wheeler, a dealer, a sleazy bookie, professional gambler, entertainment promotional manager, and commissioner of evening affairs, Huicho Juarez. When I was thinking of Huicho Juarez, I was thinking of Carnalillo. If you remember Carnalillo from Que Buena TV, and also this big fat actor from Super Amigos Hue and Luis de Alba, and also Boss Hogg from the Dukes of Hazzard. Just some big fat kind of this Danny DeVito hair, a sleazy guy who juggles money. He's like, he likes to dress like a rancher. Like most Mexicans, we like to dress like ranchers. We have the tacky hat and we got the tacky boots. Don't run very well in them. So you see the top. This is a disgusting human being. He represents the sleaziness, the pornography, the illegal guns, the illegal drugs, just anything you could think of. This man represents it all. He's the guy that has the money. He knows some people. He knows people in office, city council. This is a guy who would support the city of Bell for their scandals. And he's just not a nice guy. Well, he's a nice guy in keeping up appearances, but he's not a nice guy behind the scenes. So he has his own selfish needs. Think of the Trade Federation and the Sith from The Phantom Menace. So Jerry goes up to him. He shows him the latest toy that he has. So he's coming up to him, but in disguise. It's sort of his secret shame. I mean, Jerry has to wear a disguise. He has to wear a mask and cover up most of his clothing so he doesn't come off as grotesque to Huicho. Huicho Juarez is just he's going to be kept in the dark a bit about what Jerry's true intentions are, because he brings this toy, this red Zetrobot little robot with 2 legs that walks around. So there's this awkward conversation. So Huicho knows Jerry because he knows his dad. And he and his dad used to do gambling, wheeling and dealing and dirty deals behind the scenes, all kinds of things about having sex with women or having illegal drugs or illegal weapons or whatever thing you could think of, right? So, Jerry is counting on Huicho's never-ending quest for greed and big enterprises to further his agenda. So Huicho has one agenda that's about making as much money as possible and pleasing the audience and having illegal dealings on the side. This passive-aggressive, typical politician, this makeshift poor man's politician, and Jerry has his own agendas. I'll turn the page for a moment. And so right here it says, basically is a toy. So he's describing the little red Zetrobot as his toy that can respond to voice command. It can remember the sound of your voice. It can do a deep fake version of you. It can respond to Chiflido. I can't do a El Chiflido. Only a true Mexican can do it. I'm part Spanish. What do you want from me? So he's talking about how it understands the name of who you are just from your voice. It can scan the room. It can understand what it sees. It can understand smells. It has a Sherlock sense, so it can understand. It's just super smart. It's like smarter than Cortana and Siri and Alexa. This thing understands things. It has a built-in GPS, and it knows, what you ate for breakfast. So this is the smartest toy ever. I mean, forget Siri and Alexa and Cortana. Forget all those weird robots with the smartphone technology built into it remotely. This is it. This is the ultimate toy that Jerry has brought before Huicho. Isn't that nice? I mean, Jerry's tried other places before, but now it's different. He's going to really, really show, everyone. So Zetrobot. So this thing can push 300 pounds. It can do phone calls in your voice. It can cook dinner on a stove using its extended legs. It's waterproof. Blah 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 blah. So at this point, Jerry is trying to market himself as this secret person, this secret character who is behind the scenes. So he's going to be wearing a mask, of course, but Jerry is going to promote himself as quote unquote Pancho Villa. And he's got, so these two are working together and they've got Huicho's attention to make these Zetrobots. But now he's got other products he wants to put out there. And he's explaining that this mysterious Zetrobot is technology from an alien from another planet. That's the catch. So you have a spaceship that has been confiscated by the U.S. Air Force, and then there's all these extraterrestrial elements coming about without the extraterrestrial, which Jerry has secret. But next week I will do part 4 on Monday, and we will see exactly how Violet down here and Jesus up here are put into the wolf's fold, and how the end of the world will cometh.